Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews, and you can see right here in front of you is a gigantic beast of a Tyrannosaurus Rex figure. This is actually the Lanard Toys Jurassic Clash Tyrannosaurus Rex. I don't have all the accessories that go with it, just the T-Rex himself, because I actually won this guy in a contest, which is crazy because I usually never win anything. But I was super excited to actually win this because this is a dinosaur figure that I've wanted for quite a long time, and overall I think has such a very cool appearance to it that I really wanted to get a chance to own this and have it in my collection. And luckily I won a contest to get this Tyrannosaurus Rex, so I am without question going to take a look at it right now with you guys. This dinosaur, I will say, is very large, way bigger than anything that I had from the Primal Clash or even the Liopleurodon that I had from the Jurassic Clash line. So that is one very cool factor about this Rex, is just how large it is, and overall has such a very nice looking appearance. I like the paint application. I think it looks very highly detailed, similar to everything that we've seen previously from Primal Clash and Jurassic Clash, or I should just say Lanard Toys in general. So let's get a closer look at it. So starting up at the head sculpt, you can see it has a very nice sculpt overall with the appearance of the head. Kind of has like a mixture of a Jurassic Park and a V-Rex sort of combined. It has that kind of feel to it to me with the armored type of an appearance up here on the top of the head, and a little bit with the way the jaw in general is formed and shaped, but at the same time it does kind of give me a Jurassic Park vibe, and it will even more so here in a little bit when I let you hear the noise. But regardless, I do think it looks very nice overall with the sculpt. It's not like any kind of a Mattel sculpt where it's just really, really highly detailed. You know, you can see that some of the detail is kind of muted, but it does still look really nice regardless. The jaw is articulated. Unfortunately, they didn't include any paint on the inside skin flap of the mouth, but it still looks really nice on the inside with the tongue, as the tongue has a beautiful, very realistic coloration and a gloss included in there to really give it some nice shine, a very realistic shine. You can see actually right here as I'm looking a little bit of sloppiness when it comes to the paint, which is something I'm not accustomed to when it comes to Lanard toys, but I guess they probably make mistakes as far as this goes like everyone else does. But you can see that the tongue itself is very nicely detailed and sculpted out, and again beautifully painted and applied with a very realistic gloss. The teeth are very large and look really nice as well. You can see that the jaw closes nicely. It does move very beautifully. You can open it to any distance or width that you would like, so it works perfectly. And the teeth overall don't really have too much sloppiness. I mean, they look really nice on this side. Just a little bit of sloppiness here and there, but it's nothing really to complain about. The eyes don't have any paint at all on them. You can see the eyes are just in general a red color, and that's because when you activate the action feature, the eyes do light up, which is appealing to some people. I personally am not a big fan of light up eyes, similar to what like Terror-by-Batat has been doing with their newer figures, but I do still get a very cool nostalgic feel from this dinosaur with that action feature, so I can let it slide. Up here on the top of the head, you can get a good idea of the nice detailing, and then when you get to the neck, it starts to form some ridges up here on the top of the spine, and kind of some osteoderms or scoots there, and a lot of very nice wrinkling and some very beautiful skin texture here in the neck. Nice scaling as we run down, some skin folding going on down here in the throat. Even the underside of the throat and jaw sports some pretty nice detail. Again, the detail is a little bit muted compared to what I'm used to, but this is also a much larger figure. Again, we see that nice skin tone. You can kind of see the shoulder blade here protruding from the skin, which is pretty shocking for a figure like this. Very nice, unreasonably long Rex arms there. The hands are sculpted really nicely, and they look actually very Jurassic Parkish, the arms do, and the hands, you can see it's very muscular as well. Beautiful scaling going on all throughout the arms. They do, like I said, appear to be a good bit too large, but they still look really cool. We know for a fact that Lanard Toys does not base their figures off of scientific accuracy, creating things like a Trimetrodon, and if you just take one look at their Liopleurodon, you'll know that they don't base these off of any kind of scientific findings, just kind of a very cool off-the-wall dinosaur, and that's exactly what you get with this Tyrannosaurus Rex. Nice sculpting here in the stomach region. You can kind of see the rib cage a little bit. Lots of really nice skin folding going on. As you get back here into the thigh is huge. Very nice musculature. You can again pick up on some of these scoots that run down the leg. And then you get down into the leg here in the foot area. The feet and legs are actually pretty big, and you can see they have kind of a armored sort of an appearance to them, but it looks really cool. Unfortunately, there is no paint on the nails of the feet or the hands, which is really strange because a lot of the newer Primal Clash figures all had paint on their nails, so it's a little strange. I guess maybe this was like an older toy from them, so maybe if they recreate this for the Primal Clash line, maybe we'll get some paint on the nails. And you can see the nice work as far as the skin texture and everything. As we run out the tail is pretty short in comparison to what a Tyrannosaurus Rex tail should be, but has a kind of a spiky area, almost similar to a Carnotaurus here on the end of the tail, and that does look really cool. The other side is similar to the previous side, and as you can see, the head sculpt and everything looks great also on this side. Beautiful skin texture here in the neck as we move down the length of the dinosaur, but it really looks just the same as it did on the opposing side, as there's not really too much going on here. It's just kind of standing here. But one issue, which is a downside to this dinosaur figure, is when you get down here, you can see there are very Hasbro-like screw holes kind of all over the place. You've got a good solid 5 screw holes there, which is definitely a downside and does take away from the figure, but I don't think it's a huge deal because I would display it from this side and then you don't see any screw holes at all. It still looks fantastic. Just the addition of the screw holes on this one side is definitely a downside. It's actually a pretty big bummer and really gives you a Hasbro feel for it, but at the same time it has such a cool sculpt and everything, and a fairly nice paint job. It's pretty basic, just lots of greens and then a lighter underbelly, but it does still look very cool. It has a very Lanard Toys type of a feel to it, so I can look past the screw holes even if they are quite the eyesore. But otherwise, the sculpt on this side, again, is exactly the same as it was on the previous side, so we don't really need to look at this side any more so than the other. It does still look really cool if you can take your eyes and mind off of those screw holes. Now, as far as articulation goes, you've got the jaw, which does work perfectly. The neck moves, which we will get to here in a second. The arms go forward and back on both sides. Legs forward and back on both sides. There is actually ankle articulation, kind of appears to be on a swivel, but it's really stiff and I don't want to break it, so I don't know for sure how far it goes. And the tail is also kind of on a swivel, so it's pretty Mattel-like as far as the articulation goes. But earlier I did say that this is going to have a very Jurassic Park feel, and here is why. As you can tell, that is quite clearly Rexy's roar from Jurassic Park, and it does add to the effect of this dinosaur toy, and you did see the eyes light up. That's one thing I'm usually not a big fan of, especially when they blink like that, but I can let it slide on this figure because overall it is still really cool. As far as a size goes, and I did state that this is pretty large, so from the ground to the top of the head, you're looking at about 9 inches, or about 23, almost 23.5 centimeters, about 23 centimeters. And for a length, you were looking at about 18 inches, pretty much on the dot, or about 46 centimeters. So pretty darn big. For a size comparison, there is the Papo Rex, and here is the Lanard Toys Tyrannosaurus. And you can see that the Lanard Toys Rex just totally dwarfs this much smaller Papo Rex. And the Papo Rex is pretty big himself. So that's impressive, very, very impressive to see just how large the Lanard Toys Tyrannosaurus Rex is. I had no idea it was as big as it is until I received it and got it out of the box, and I was quite blown away by its size. So this Lanard Toys T-Rex is pretty hard to get, so if you can find one on eBay, I totally recommend it because the sculpt overall has a very cool appearance to it. Again, a mix of a V-Rex and a Jurassic Park style T-Rex, and the paint application is pretty nice. It's not overly flashy. It's just kind of a few variations of green and a little bit of a lighter color on the underneath, but it does still look very cool, very natural, and it's applied quite nicely and does look like body color, not paint. The overall sculpt is very cool. It's a little muted as far as the details go in some areas, but at the same time it does have a very cool appearance and a lot of nice sculpt work also included. Quite a bit of articulation on top of all of that, which is always something fun, and the very cool action feature with the noise really bringing you back to Jurassic Park with that incredible Rexy roar. The unfortunate downsides to it would be the screw holes, which do definitely give you quite the eyesore, but as long as you display it from this side, it's not such a bad deal, and it does overall give you a very cool and very appealing, off-the-walls kind of Tyrannosaurus Rex. So if you do want to buy this guy, I will try to find a link to include in the description, probably on eBay because I'm not too sure otherwise where you can purchase it. So check the link in the description, go buy yourself this very cool Lanard Toys Tyrannosaurus Rex, but don't forget to please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.